welcome to Afternoon Delight. I'm Katy Pence, your wacky news expert.
I'm Thomas Rehfeldt, your cultural expert.
And I'm Lexi Smith, here with your entertainment news.
And last but not least, Shawn Ademi with your tech-savvy news.
And for the next half an hour, we are going to entertain you with all sorts of different news. Let's get right to it. So Easter was this weekend. Did you guys do anything fun and exciting?
I hung out with all the Swedish international students. I met them at a party next door.
Ooh, so you had a lot of fun this weekend. I took advantage of all the cheap candy sales on Monday, but...
How many pounds did you buy?
We should not get into that.
Oh.
A lot. Let's leave it at that. But speaking of Easter, the White House Easter egg roll, a tradition. They go ahead, kids get to go out to the to the White House lawns and roll Easter eggs, right? It was bees this year, not bunnies, that went ahead and stole the show. That's right. President Barack Obama was reading Where the Wild Things Are, which is quickly becoming a new tradition. And the kids were making all these buzzing sounds, and they were like imitating the bees because the White House has a bunch of like bee colonies, right? Really cool, all that fun stuff. Well, a bee flew over to the kids in the middle of President Obama's reading, and the kids got really scared and were screaming, and so he has to pause in the middle of this, and he's like, hold on, you guys are wild things. You're not supposed to be scared of bees when you're a wild thing, and it was all caught on camera, and it was really funny. So he had to go ahead and kind of calm them down and reassure them during this and kind of chat about it. But I thought it was really cute. Did you guys see it at all? It was really funny.
No.
The kids were just like screaming because there was like one little bee.
What if they were allergic? It wasn't really brought up at all.
Well, best of luck to them.
And there the president is just waving his hand like it doesn't matter.
I'm sure they had plenty of various medical personnel on hand in case of bee stings.
Well, the closest that I got to that story was on Snapchat. They had the White House Easter.
Oh, did
you
they?
see that on Snapchat?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, and so I saw Obama and all the little kids and their families were there doing a bunch of activities. I don't know, Easter activities like little egg runs and obstacle courses, but nothing about the bees in there. But
I thought it was cute.
Well, the Obamas are our royal family, but let's go across the seas over to the UK where we have a different royal family. Let's talk about Prince Harry. He's actually in Australia right now. He's there. He's in the army. He's in the military. So he's actually there for a month, part of the British Armed Forces. And he will actually be there. And so what happened was there's a little kid, because obviously he's a redhead, Prince Harry, if you boys didn't know, hunky redhead. And there's a kid that had a sign that you can see it there that said redheads rule. And so Prince Harry loved the sign. He went over there and he asked the kid why he made the sign. His name was Ethan. He was 12 years old who made the sign, and said that the best thing about life is being a redhead. So really gave that kid a boost of confidence.
I'm gonna have to agree with that.
In the same time though, he saw a woman and she asked for a selfie and said that seriously, you need to get out of it. You're young, but selfies are bad. Just take a normal photograph. So you had two kind of different moments with the crowd there in Australia.
So I'm gonna throw my roommate under the bus because she absolutely loves redheaded men. And she is convinced that she's going to marry him. So, that is her entire, life future plan, is that she's going to get married to the prince.
He's a party boy, though. Can she keep up?
We'll find out. But she's, really adamant about the fact that she's going to marry him.
Well, people are very concerned that Harry is not going to make it back for the royal birth. Kate Middleton is due on April 25th. They currently have Prince George, and they're hopefully going to add a baby girl. So everyone's concerned that he's not going to make it back in time for that.
I heard that they were putting out statistics on whether or not they thought it was going to be a baby boy.
People are betting on this. Yeah. Yep, there are bookies and everyone betting on it. They're betting on the name and everything.
Is there a website where we could actually place our bets?
Yeah.
You want to get in on the action?
Yeah, why not?
We'll check it at the break. We'll play some bets and all that fun stuff.
All right, well, I have a story for you. Speaking of countries of international importance, this has to do with Kazakhstan. There's actually a video about this. According to the Daily Mail, residents of this Kazakhstan village reported this weird smoke ring that slowly dissipated over the village for a course of 15 minutes, and it was estimated to be over 100 meters wide. What actually was happening was temporary particle suspension. As you can see here, this is actually the giant ring.
That's weird.
That was in the air?
It looks like a swarm of birds or like locusts or something to me.
It does, slightly.
Kind of strange.
I don't know what kind of swarms you have seen on National Geographic, but if I saw that in the sky, that's not the first thing.
What would be your first reaction seeing that in the sky?
I think it looks like a giant, like something let out of a smokestack. Like that's what I would think. Like,
So you wouldn't think anything of
or
it.
maybe like a portal. I don't know. I play too many video games, but
No such thing.
Wait, but we don't know what that is?
Well, that was actually a vortex ring.
so
Of
it
course.
was a vortex.
It was
Yeah,
a
that's
vortex
it's a
ring.
I was right.
Okay, my
Yeah.
bad. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
it's-
entertainment
It's
news.
the same thing as tornadoes or volcanic eruptions and nuclear explosions.
That
Wow.
went right over my head.
Fun fact: did you know that dolphins can actually make them?
Yeah.
Have you seen like dolphins, like they blow the bubbles, like the rings, and then they like play with them and stuff? That's what I do with my free time.
That's
I
more
watch
mental.
dolphins play with bubbles, so they can also make vortex rings. That's my fun fact for the day.
Sorry, Shawn, but what's your story?
Well, just speaking of like, I don't know, weird things happening in, well, not Kazakhstan, but like over in China, something that finally has happened for the first time. They're known for their arcade gaming in China, and they're communist over there, and they're a little bit more restrictive on internet, like they don't allow Facebook and whatnot, but they have just allowed Sony and Microsoft to release console gaming into the nation for the first time. Up until now, it's just been computer gaming, usually free to play, like MMO, like RPGs, which is like massive multiplayer online gaming with other people, or just arcades, like your classic Street Fighter. But now Sony was the first to launch in the country, and they had the lead with all the firmware and the software updates. And but now Microsoft has been allowed to use its Xbox One, and it's the Chinese distributor Best TV is reporting that now Xbox One sales have increased, and it's just kind of interesting to me personally because like I play a lot of video games, so
See, I'm a video gamer, but I don't like consoles. So the only console I played a lot of was the N64. I still have it hooked up in my room. I was playing it the other night. So I didn't really like the Xbox. I didn't like the PlayStation. I did like some of the Wii games. Some of those were fun. They were different, but I know you're judging me right now. I can see that.
a little bit.
I don't care.
Do you think the demand for older consoles like the PS2 will rise?
No.
No.
No, you don't think so?
No, that
No.
was
Like
horrible.
the classic games?
Outdated.
It doesn't. They're classics.
Yeah, you
So?
stream them now.
Super
That's-
Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
You
they're
play
allowed
on-
to be
But
streamed.
now you can play them on like an emulator, online.
emulator?
Yeah.
Oh.
Fun fact.
Wow.
Just saying. That's where I play them.
Well, aren't you cool?
I am cool. I am so cool. But
Well, it's interesting that you don't like consoles because in the next few years they're actually planning on getting rid of consoles altogether and just kind of using video games as like a Netflix service. You kind of pay for the specific company you would like Ubisoft or like Infinity Ward, and then you can just pay them a monthly subscription, and then you can play their games specifically rather than going out to Walmart or whatever and buying a $500 console.
well, that is quite fascinating. But we have to take a break. We're going to take a look at those perfect pets and be right back after this.
Each week, the student-run television station WMCN TV sends out a group of students to film some of the most precious animals of the Cooley Region Humane Society, in a segment we like to call Perfect Pets. The Cooley Region Humane Society offers a variety of programs and services at little or no cost to help both animals and people in our community. If you have found or lost a pet, are in need of training assistance, need cat behavior consultation, desire to volunteer, need to surrender your pet, or are looking to adopt a pet, the Cooley Region Humane Society offers this and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Adopt or become a volunteer today. To find out more about these services, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
Again, if you want to adopt any of those adorable pets, the phone number is 781-4014. So we were just talking about gaming consoles, and that I don't know much about. So I'm going to talk about a different type of game, one that I think we all know, The Price is Right. So currently there's a woman on there, and she's one of the models, and her name is Manuela, and she made a $21,000 mistake.
What?
She accidentally gave away a car on the show, but I would not do it justice explaining it. So let's watch a quick clip of Manuela accidentally giving away this car. Sorry for the technical difficulties there, but I'm sure you can feel the excitement and the mistake she made. So actually the woman, just by default, because she made that mistake and revealed the number too soon, she got a $21,000 car. And Manuela actually did get to keep her job, and they did not deduct that from her paycheck. Aww. But the funny thing is she's been working there for 6 years, so you think she would know better.
Maybe she's just having an off day. She's one of the yeah, she has been there for like 6 years. So I spent last semester, because of like when my class schedule was, I just spent like 3 days a week watching The Price is Right and whatnot. And she's like one of the regulars, so she gets to like she gets a lot of airtime. So I don't know, maybe it was just an off day for her or something.
Well, she says that mishaps happen a lot and that someone actually accidentally gave away a Disneyland trip. So it's happened before, and there's a history of it on the show, but hers by far apparently was the most expensive blooper.
That's rough.
Have you guys ever seen the Drew Carey show? Back in the 90s?
Yeah, with Mimi, and she had like the blue eyeshadow.
Yeah, and she'd always let
yeah.
pull pranks on him at work.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You guys a big fan of the Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, yes.
It's probably the best comedy show of all time,
Isn't
dare
it
I
making
say.
a comeback?
Okay.
I think it might be.
I've seen recent
It
episodes.
came back. It is not as good as the original show.
Oh.
It's not. So now Aisha Tyler is now hosting it, which is fine. I like her. I think she's really good, but she's just kind of, I don't know, the whole feel of the show is off. Now they have all these like famous celebrity guests that come in like all the time, and it's just kind of off. They have like they suggest Twitter hashtags that you should use like while you're watching it. It's just not as good anymore.
Is the talent the same? Does it still have Wayne Brady and everything?
It has some of the same talent. So Ryan Stiles, Colin Mockery came back. I think Wayne Brady's back.
Okay.
Not for all of the episodes
Okay.
though. And then again, they kind of rotate the fourth person in and out. But it's just not as good in my opinion. It's not as, it doesn't feel as spontaneous and like hilarious as it used to.
That's a bummer.
Are Colin and Ryan still funny?
Oh, of course. Of course.
Colin made the show for me.
They
time.
look so old now, though. So Colin, I mean, he was like bald just about, but now his hair is like gray, and same with like Ryan, his hair is graying, and it's sad.
Well, I think Tom should be the fourth guest on that show.
Yeah.
What?
I think you should.
I think you'd be great on
Oh,
Whose
really?
Line.
Oh, gosh, I'd love to meet Colin and Ryan. We could go out for a steak dinner, maybe, like a 4-star restaurant. That'd be kind of cool.
As long as they're paying.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Hey, speaking about food, I have a story about Japanese culture, actually.
Ooh.
And this has to do with if you travel to Japan, always keep a cucumber in hand. And the reason why is because of a Japanese water imp called the Coppa. It's roughly the size of a small child, age 6 to 10. It is described as part monkey, part turtle, and part lizard. And the most prominent feature is actually a small bowl on top of the creature's head, which, according to legend, contains the source of the Coppa's strength. As you see there in that photo, they are tearing apart a human cadaver. They are carnivorous. Actually, a little strategy for you, if you ever want to defeat one, you have to make it bow so as to pour out the magic fluid.
Okay, here's my question.
Is that how you defeated the one you encountered, Tom?
It was. Yeah, it was a ruthless battle. Truly
Please
was.
tell us more. How exactly did I want to hear like
Well, it was 2
strategy
o'clock
so
in
I
the
know
morning,
what to do.
and I was walking to my bathroom. What'd you know? Something falls out of the ceiling. We have this brief struggle for about 2 minutes. I clocked it right in the face, fell over backwards. Everything was pouring over the floor. It took a month to clean. But,
not a bow, though. You told me to make a bow.
well, I made a bow with my fist.
Sean, can you please bring us back to reality with
Yeah.
another story?
I shall bring you back to Japan, exactly where we are, but
right.
it is another story. So this is a little more realistic, but it is also a bit sci-fi. So what we have is there's going to be a hotel, and instead they're trying to look to replace it with robot staff and face recognition instead of room keys, and they're going to open it up this summer in Huiten Bosch, which is a theme park in Nagasaki in Japan. And basically what they're trying to do is the first complex is going to open July 17th this summer with 72 rooms, and then another 72-room building in 2016. So it's going to cost about $50 to, no, actually that's euros, so that's about double with the exchange rate. So it's going to be about like $80-ish to rent a room for a night, and you can get a twin room for a little bit extra. And basically they're going to have 10 robot staff right when it opens, but they're planning on having 90% of all the hotel services be operated by robots. So your luggage is going to be carried to your room by robots. You're going to be served by robots. If you call, you need some food brought up late at night, or you need like a champagne bottle if you're doing something romantic, a robot's going to be there. And they have flesh, like humans. Like, it's not like, it looks like a robot, they look like people. It's a little creepy, but they're basically animatronics with like...
That is terrifying.
So it's not really flesh, it's just like plastic wax of some sort? Kind of.
Well, I imagine it'd be like all of, like the animatronics you see at like Disneyland and stuff.
I was imagining Terminator, where they actually had real living flesh over the exoskeleton.
Also very terrifying.
It was.
I was like all for this like robot idea, and then you're like, oh, and they're gonna look like people. I'm like, nope, I'm out. Nope, Because I think that'd be cool, to have, a hotel being staffed by robots. At least, cost effective, but then you're like, they're gonna look like people. I'm like, no, that's creepy.
Until they become self-aware and decide
What
that
if you
humans are
accidentally
obsolete.
wander into the room where they keep like all the extra robots, and you're like, oh my god, they're all looking at me? No,
Sounds
that doesn't
like-
creep
I
out
don't know,
anyone else?
like-
Okay.
It just seems expensive, and I feel like it'll take away from human jobs, personally. Like, I don't like the idea of robots being... Imagine if you walk into a restaurant, and instead of like a person greeting you, it's just a robot now. Like, if this trend catches on, it just makes me fearful for what the future entails for humans being productive.
Well,
I'm
it's
pretty lazy to begin
cost-effective.
with, so if I know that robots are doing everything for me, like, if I don't have to clean anymore, I don't know.
No one ever go over Sean's place is the lesson of that story.
Hey, Tom, you've been in my place. It's not that.
Well, why don't we not, it is kind of a mess. But.
All right, well, I'm gonna segue this into talking about some other services. Amazon just launched its Amazon Home Services this week. It's a new trial sort of thing that they're just, trying out. So, Amazon, you go online, you buy all sorts of crazy things, and it gets delivered right to your door, right? Well, now they're allowing you to purchase home services. And the star of their home services are goats. That's right, I said goats. Specifically, these are Seattle-based goats who are ready to trim back all of your pesky shrubbery. Tammy Dunikin is the owner of these goats. They'll bring the goats, unload them, and then immediately they go ahead, they hit the ground, and they're eating. So it's incredible to watch. They're kind of just, they trim your lawn. They'll go ahead. The idea was originally brought about, the actual city of Seattle was using these goats to clear away brush and kind of open up a bunch of like pathways on the side of highways, as you saw in the picture. So it was just really kind of interesting to me that apparently her service with these goats is the #1 service right now on Amazon Home Services. So for all of you like 10-year-olds who used to have to mow the lawn, just rent a goat instead.
Well, if I can buy it on Amazon Prime, I'm in. So I'd be in for that. But let's find out more about that story and other things that are going on right after this break.
Hey, can't find what you're looking for?
What?
You can find what you're looking for and more at WMCM. WMCM TV has plenty of shows you can view at your pleasure. There's Profile, where we interview people throughout the community. Or if you like sports, we have Sports Talk Live and Sports Scene. And if you're into celebrity gossip, that's why we have Afternoon Delight.
Well, that all looks great, but I'm on a computer, not a TV. I bet you guys don't have a way for me to watch this stuff on a computer.
Oh, we have that covered too. Just go to WMCMTV.com for all the updates.
Wow, that solves all my problems. Thanks, WMCM Genie.
Well, from goats, we're going to go on into pigs. That's right. A pot-bellied pig was outside a Pennsylvania Burger King. He was very upset about the bacon croissant. I mean, that's at least what we're assuming. He had escaped from a local home and was just hanging outside Burger King when the staff showed up at 5 a.m. to get the restaurant going. Apparently, when they opened the restaurant, he was still there hanging out, and so several customers showed up trying to get in, and the pig was actually guarding the entrance, kind of like backing up against the door and then charging them. And one kind guest showed up and tried to take care of this pig. And when he approached the animal to try and move him out of the way so that they could go on in and order their food, he actually got bit.
Really?
Ooh.
He was bit by this pot-bellied pig. So the woman was fine. Police eventually reunited the animal with its owners, but not before one worker tried to feed it some bacon. So that's a little unfortunate for that pig.
I think the pig is probably doing people a favor by guarding them, so hopefully they won't go in Taco Bell. Burger King. So hopefully they won't go in Burger King and they'll go somewhere else, maybe somewhere healthier for their food. Maybe that's what the pig was thinking.
What would you do if you showed up at Burger King, like all ready to get your, I don't know anything on the Burger King menu, oh, they have the chicken fries right now, don't they? All ready to get your chicken fries, and you show up and there's just a pig standing right there between you and the door. What do you do? Go. What do you do?
Well, the fact that I'm even showing up at Burger King to get chicken fries means I'm starting out my day wrong. So.
All right.
How
do you take care of the situation?
How do I take care of the situation?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd realized my life was in shambles, and I should probably try and get out of the situation. I mean, we have a Burger King in our hometown, Tom, and I don't know. It's not, even after they went 24 hours, like, they still just don't have any business. It's just all that, like,
it's all those pot-bellied pigs.
Well, it's just low quality food, all the fast food joints.
A lot of shady deals happened in that parking lot, too.
Yeah, they did. Few people. Okay, well, we probably shouldn't get into those details.
Well, let's talk about Rob Kardashian, who I think he's had a bit too much Burger King or a little too much bacon, because he has gained reportedly 100 pounds, is spending all of his money. He deleted all of his Instagram photos, so it literally says nothing, and he's locked himself in his room and refuses to see anyone. So everyone in the family is concerned. They're thinking about having an intervention. They want to cut him off completely, but Kris Jenner is just not into the idea because she literally cries herself to sleep every night worrying about him. It's breaking her heart. So really, it sounds like they need to do something drastic, but Kris is just not on board. For his health and for his financial sake, I really think they should do something. But what do you do in that situation?
Yeah.
I'm not really a fan of the Kardashians to begin with, so you told me the story earlier, and I was just like, oh no.
Can I ask, who is Rob Kardashian?
He's the spoiled son.
He's the son in the shadow of his three sisters.
Yeah.
How many siblings are there?
A lot.
4.
More than one.
Oh.
4 that I know of, but it's kind of questionable. It's always been questionable if Khloe is actually one of the Kardashians. I've always heard rumors about that. Who really knows? She does look a little different, but I think someone really needs to help him because it sounds like he's in a downward spiral, but they have enough money to get professional help, so I don't know why they're brainstorming ideas on their own.
It just kind of sounds like the whole Amanda Bynes situation all over again. She had all this like fame and spotlight shining on her and then just kind of lost it all, and it took her family a long time to get her help, and now look at where she is. She's still kind of, still hearing reports about her having problems. So I think they should probably act sooner rather than later, because that can be a very dangerous situation. And so I would say they should probably help him out now. Yeah, get something going.
Guys, if you were a guy and you gained 100 pounds and you were blowing through all your money, what would you want your family to do?
My family would. It just wouldn't even get
Send
to
more
that situation.
cupcakes.
I don't think. Like, that's just literally. It just reminds me of Veruca from Willy Wonka. That's just all I think about. Like, I don't know, just spoiled. Like, he's the perfect definition of a millennial, or whatever they're calling us, Generation X or Y, or I don't even know. But like, he's so entitled. Like, that's pretentious to do. Like, there's people starving around the world, and I don't know. You're just.
You're so sad you've gained 100 pounds. Yeah.
Well, no, he can even hire a professional chef and a trainer. Like, you don't have to worry about it. I just don't feel like he personally has contributed anything to be
a productive member of society.
Yeah, it just sounds like it's hard for me to relate or feel bad for a person like that. Like, I don't know. I have my finals coming up. I have other things to
worry about.
You know, I've always thought the Kardashians are like more of a human. Like, they didn't even seem like humans to me. They seem like some sort of like extraterrestrial race, just kind
Those
of
robots in
entertaining.
Japan?
Yeah, like the robots in Japan. Exactly. It's a wonderful way of putting it.
Well, we've solved that mystery.
Well, maybe if he got a trainer, he would be able to arm wrestle.
That is a wonderful segue. You saw my next article.
I did, I
Actually,
cheated.
yes. So, once thought as the true testament of masculinity, the inherent dangers of arm wrestling are now coming to light. And this is much closer to the bone than you might think. Here's a testament from an article, actually, of a man who was having a cheery Christmas celebration which drastically turned awry. I would have to go to have surgery, which required a bone from a cadaver, a metal plate, and 8 metal screws to repair the break. Even my surgeon was shocked by the damage from something that's supposed to be so common as arm wrestling. Were you aware of this?
I'm really bad at arm wrestling.
So was I.
I'm kind of a wuss.
And now I have an
Very weak
excuse
wuss.
not to attend any arm wrestling competition.
Is that a problem for you? Are you normally like inundated with requests to arm wrestle people?
Not really. But it is quite a humorous situation, because actually your humerus bone is most likely to snap while you're rotating your shoulder and your elbow is fixated on the table. There's actually an article, if you're interested for more, it's called Arm Wrestling Fractures, a Humorous Twist. I had a lot of fun finding this article.
I don't really know where we're supposed
I think
to
a
go
little
from
too
there.
much fun from the sound
I don't know what
of
we're
it.
supposed
Probably.
to go. I can't top that. Can any of you? No? You got anything interesting for us after that? Nothing so punny, I'm sure.
No, it's a little more grounded.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, well, so has been a new invention. It's called the Voxel 8. It's a 3D printer, and it is basically, it has the ability to utilize ink that's over 5,000 times more conductive than the current conductive parts and filaments used on 3D printing devices. And basically, it can print electronic parts that were previously like impossible to make. And they're planning on shipping it later in 2015, and it's gonna, it's a pretty penny. It's about $9,000.
Is that the device that just pulls it from the plastic?
Yes, that's
I
the-
saw that
yep.
video on
Those
TED
are,
Talk.
yeah, those are cool. Did you know that
insane.
the art department is considering getting a 3D printer?
Really?
Yeah, here at UWL. So I took an art class last semester, and they were like, would you guys be interested in this? And I'm like, well, I'm not an art student, so, but they like offered a couple students like the chance to like go try some out, and it was really kind of cool. So I think 3D printers are pretty neat. I think they could really be useful. So 3D printers.
Wow. hey.
Yes.
This
That's
show
my
really
opinion.
took like a futuristic twist. I like it.
Well, I mean,
3D printers,
Yeah.
robots.
Have you guys seen the one? It's like a little pen, and you like draw it up and stuff.
Oh.
It's really kind of cool.
Well, I try to stick to entertainment news, but you got a whole wide variety of news today here on Afternoon Delight.